Hello and welcome to Brand X Reviews. Today is the 10th of November 2014. Very exciting day today, but it's also a very expensive day. There are three things that have come out, just been released, and two of which I'm going to do reviews of. The first one is the new Foo Fighters album. I'm not going to do a review of this because it's music. I'm not very good at review music. You listen to it, you either like it or you don't. But very excited about that because it's been like over 3 years since the last album came out. But the second item that's come out today is X-Men Days of Future Past on Blu-ray. So I'm going to do a review of that now, and that's something we reviewed when it came out in the cinema, but the actual Blu-ray itself, we're going to talk about what you get with it, kind of thing. That's the first thing that I'm going to actually do a review of. Now, the next thing is something I mentioned in a previous review, Batman, the 60s TV series box set. This has been a long time in the, they've been waiting for this. First time it's ever been released on home video format in the UK anyway, as far as I'm aware. And there's a number of reasons for that, but we're going to get into that when I do the review, and we're going to have a look at what you get with it, because this is a very expensive item to say it's only 3 series long. It's cost over £110. But again, this video I'm going to do here is the X-Men Days of Future Past Blu-ray review. But if you want to see the review of the Batman box set, that'll be the next video to go up. And I'm hoping to get these all done and up today, so you'll know anyway if you're watching this whether that was actually the case. But anyway, who cares? Here is the review of X-Men Days of Future Past, the UK edition Blu-ray. Okay, so now we're going to have a very quick look at the Blu-ray of X-Men Days of Future Past. And we'll talk about some of the extras and maybe just kind of talk about what the next couple of films in this franchise are going to be, because they are going to keep going with it. So let's just have a look. So I did review the film back in May when it came out, so I'm not really going to get into what I think of the film, because I've already done that. So let's have a look at just the extras that are on this. You've got a wealth of extras on this, but they're not really all that long when you actually kind of break each individual thing down. So unlike what you got with the other DVDs, you seem to get a lot more extras on each disc, on each film. This one doesn't seem to have quite as many, but there's plenty of deleted scenes anyway on this. But again, they're not very long. There's about 6 minutes worth, but there's half a dozen of them or so. Some of them are incomplete as well, the actual visual effects. It's done with green screens in the background, so the deleted scenes are unfinished. But interesting to see anyway. It doesn't seem to have the any of the footage that was filmed with Rogue. I'm not a big fan of that character anyway, so it's no tragic loss in my opinion, but she was somebody that was in the teaser trailer from memory, maybe or one of the early trailers, and she's fairly heavily used in the promotional stuff like this. These Pringles that you get that are kind of used with X-Men franchise. She's even on there, and in the actual film she's in it for like 5 seconds. You just kind of see her off in the distance. So again, kind of, I would have thought that there were deleted scenes with her. I'm pretty sure I heard that, but they're not included on here anyway. So there's, like I said, there's about 6 minutes of deleted scenes. There is the thing about the kitchen sequence as well, where I thought that was something to do with Quicksilver, but it's not. It's the bit with the kitchen where he kind of slows everything down. It wasn't that. It was to do with there's a discussion between Professor X, Mystique, Wolverine. They're just kind of talking to Mystique. It's the bit in the trailer where Wolverine says, "You're a cold-hearted bitch," and she says, "Well, don't hold back." It's that sequence. So that's kind of another deleted scene technically, but it's done with a few outtakes as well, which are quite funny, so that's worth a watch. There's a couple of featurettes. Oh, that was about 6 minutes, by the way. So again, there's deleted scenes about 6 minutes worth, and the kitchen sequence is again about 6 minutes. Now there's a few featurettes, all of which are about 10 minutes long each. There's one called Double Take Xavier and Magneto, so it just kind of talks about their characters. There's one called X-Men Reunited, which again just kind of talks about getting a cast back together. There's one called Classification M, and then there's one called Sentinels for a Secure Future, which is all about the design of the Sentinels that you saw in the film. So there's also a stills gallery of Trask Industries. There's a thing called a second screen app, which I haven't really played about with it. I think that's just kind of a gimmick thing to do with tablets and phones, all that kind of thing, how you can interact with the film on your phone. Then there is a sneak peek of the film Exodus, Gods and Kings, which has a couple of really good actors, Christian Bale and Joel Edgerton, and it's directed by Ridley Scott. It says a sneak peek's literally a minute and a half long, and it's just kind of interviews with Ridley Scott. And there is also the teaser trailer, which kind of plays before the film, but you can also have the option to view it as an extra on here as well. So if you were expecting anything more than that, you'd probably be disappointed. But that's it anyway. There isn't really much else I can say. It's not like the cut of the film was any different as far as I'm aware, or if it wasn't noticeably different to what we saw in the cinemas. So, because we did see that with the Wolverine last year, there was a lot of differences on the disc that you got, so I could really talk about that, but don't have much else to say about this. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to leave it there in terms of talking about the Blu-ray. And now the future films that are coming out, obviously 2016, I say obviously, you're probably already aware if you've been following this franchise, they're doing X-Men Apocalypse. And you do actually get to see that character after the credits in this. Now you could say, oh, they're just copying off what Marvel are doing. Well, X-Men, I think it was the third film, did have a post-credits sequence that kind of went nowhere, but it was a post-credit sequence that was supposed to lead on to something else. And that was in 2006. That was before Marvel started doing their own films like Iron Man and so on. So I think it's unfair to say, oh, they're just copying Marvel. It's nothing new post-credit stuff. So I disagree with that statement anyway. But again, it does lead into the next film in 2016. That's when it's supposed to be out. And it's also coming out around about the same time as the Deadpool movie that they're going to be doing, which as yet is unconfirmed that Ryan Reynolds is playing them, but come on, it's got to be Ryan Reynolds, seriously. I will be very, very surprised if it's not. So, and those two films do tie together, because I read somewhere about a month ago, the guy that wrote Days of Future Past has got some involvement in the upcoming films, and he did say that the Deadpool film and the X-Men Apocalypse film are going to tie together. So that's really good, that's really interesting. It's not my favourite of the superhero franchises out there. I'm more into the DC ones are going to be good, hopefully, but also the Marvel's own films, obviously, the Avengers tie-in films. I think they're really top of my list, so far anyway. But we will see. I mean, I've liked all the X-Men films, even X3, The Last Stand. I thought it was pretty good. A lot of people hated on it, but we will see where it goes after that. I think really 20th Century Fox are trying to milk this franchise for all that they can, because popularity, that obviously the success that Marvel Studios have been seeing with their own franchise, 20th Century Fox are really going to want to get the most out of this. Which, fair enough, as long as the films are as good a standard as this and the others have been, keep doing it, it's a good thing. So we'll see how that goes. Now, interestingly, 20th Century Fox do also own the rights, well, they have the license to do the Fantastic Four films, which they are rebooting as of 2015. We haven't seen a trailer for that or anything yet, so I don't really know. I'm fairly open-minded, but not all that optimistic. So we'll see how that goes, but technically they could cross X-Men with the Fantastic Four. I don't see them doing that. It just depends what the Fantastic Four is. Is it going to be darker? Is it going to be more serious than the other franchise that came out about 10 years ago? We'll see anyway. It's all kind of conjecture at this point, so I'll leave it there anyway. I'm just kind of waffling now. So that's my first review of today. Now, obviously, I did say I'm going to be doing a review of the Batman 60s series Blu-ray set, so that will be up later on in the day after you have watched this. So check back at brandxreviews.com and we will see you for that. Thank you very much for watching. Right, FB's crazy message that he's left on my answer phone. Let's have a play on this.
You want bloody toilet again? And they're previewing a film on here about him with claws that stick out. They've got to send that bloody Wolverine man back in time in this one. And it looks a good film. Have you seen it? I bet you've got it, haven't you?
You have 20 old men.
Yeah, clearly hasn't been to Brand X Reviews, where he can see that I've watched Days of Future Past, the X-Men film, and reviewed it, but he hasn't been on the website. In fact, he asked me before if I would have a look on my website to find some overalls. Why would I be selling overalls on my website? I don't think he understands how the internet works, to be honest. Anyway, that's why you find it funny. Anyway, that's the end of the video.